NATO. They fought the Cold War there. They know the place inside out. But Europe won't be the battleground for much longer. The real battle is unfolding to the east now, in Asia. And the adversary is much stronger. It's the People's Republic of China. Their army, their economy, their population, all of it is much bigger than Russia. Also, the ideological divisions are sharper. Russia at least pretends to be a democracy. Their economy also follows the free market. Not the case in China. China is a textbook authoritarian communist regime. They have the will and the power to topple the world order. The question is, what can NATO do about it? On paper, well, nothing. NATO is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. They deal with transatlantic tensions. China is on the other side of the world. It's an Indo-Pacific country. So until now, NATO was reluctant to take on China. They were happy in Europe. But this week in Madrid, that changed. The NATO has openly named China as a threat to their security. Listen to the joint statement. This is what they've said. We face systemic competition from those, including the People's Republic of China, who challenge our interests, security and values, and seek to undermine the rules-based international order. They're talking about three things: interests, security, values. All three belong to Cold War terminology. And it's not just the words. NATO's actions indicate an Asian pivot. 4 Indo-Pacific nations were invited to the Madrid summit: Japan, South Korea, Australia and New Zealand. And this has never happened before. 4 Indo-Pacific countries attending a NATO summit. This was a first. All 4 of them spoke about the China challenge. Listen into South Korea's president, Yoon Suk-yeol.
The security situation of a certain region can send ripple effects throughout the world. So there is a shared understanding that alliances based on certain regions are not enough to address security crises. That recognition has been expanded because of the crisis in Ukraine. That recognition is also why South Korea, Australia, Japan and New Zealand have been invited to the meetings as the Asia-Pacific Four, as close cooperation between the Indo-Pacific and NATO have become more crucial in these times.
What will that cooperation look like? The White House has identified a few areas: cyber and hybrid threats, maritime security, counter-terrorism, climate change. These are the 4 cornerstones of cooperation, and one of them will especially annoy China. That is maritime security. Because it could mean a lot of things: joint naval drills, joint patrols, moves that counter China's influence in the Indo-Pacific. Beijing will not like that. Among these Asian partners, Japan is the most eager. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida wants to upgrade the partnership with NATO. What does that mean? A, more cooperation. He's talking about changing Japan's partnership document with NATO. And B, bolstering Japan's defenses. You see, right now they spend only 1% of their GDP on defense. Ideally, Japan would like to be somewhere around 2%, which is on par with NATO standards. Now imagine you're a foreign policy mandarin sitting in Beijing. You're tracking the Madrid summit. All the statements, all the speeches. What are your big takeaways? Number 1, China has been named in NATO's roadmap document for the first time. And number 2, 4 Indo-Pacific countries attended the summit, and all 4 are China's regional rivals. It's basically blinking red lights for Beijing. Their foreign ministry was quick to condemn NATO's statement. They said it wrongly defines China. Listen to this.
NATO's so-called new strategy concept document disregards the facts, gives a false account of the true facts, wrongly defines China as posing a strategic challenge, and smears China's foreign policy. It opposes China's normal military development and national defense policy, is irresponsible, encourages conflict, and is full of Cold War thinking and ideological prejudice. China is seriously concerned and firmly opposed to this.
Europe is familiar